In this episode, I'm giving you a new perspective to look at your life, probably in a perspective that you've never, ever considered before. That's going to allow you to find the things that are important in your life and the things that it's time to strip away. And yet again, as simplistic as that sounds, there's richness, there's more context, there's a huge perspective shift for you in this episode. So stay tuned. I'm Adam Kadu, and it's time to master the art of real heart alignment, where you live, work, and play from your personal power as energy aligns, your gifts flow, and life simply works. These life-changing conversations are designed to help you to see what you're not seeing, hear what you're not hearing, and to be who you're not being, as the world needs more heart-centered leaders now more than ever. Are you ready to say no to living a half-hearted life and say yes instead to boldly living from a place of real heart alignment? Welcome to the Adam Kadu Podcast. Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of the Adam Kadu Podcast. In this episode, we're going to freestyle a little bit. I'm going to share with you one core concept that I've stumbled upon over the last few weeks that has allowed me to let go of so much baggage, so much of the stuff that's in my environment, in my life, that's no longer serving me. And I want you to take away from this episode a newfound way to approach life that's going to open up so much clarity, so many doors, and open you up to so much more strength and personal power as well. That's my wish for you in this episode. So first things first. This last year, as you know, little baby boy, sleepless nights, a lot of pain you've heard in the past episodes. And that, my friend, has caused me to step back into a lot of my old habits, my old ways of being. Some of the things that I thought were dead in the dust, never going to bother me again, they started plaguing me again. When it comes to the way I was treating my body, when it comes to the way I was thinking, when it comes to the way I was engaging with food, when it comes to the way I was, immersing myself into work, not from a full place of wholeheartedness, but also escapism. A place of looking at other people in the industry, in the marketplace, and having this inferiority complex, this comparisonitis, this inadequacy feeling, this fear that was just bubbling up and starting to run the show again. I've mentioned this a little bit in past episodes. And so what really started flipping the script for me was an idea that I'm going to introduce in a second. But first, I want to make the case for the things that are happening in your life, in your environment, the things that you pay attention to, the things that take your power away. I would love for you to entertain the idea of seeing you as a slave to those mechanisms, to those people, to those ideas, to those ideals. If you are latched on to a certain identity and how you see yourself, and every time you step outside of that identity and you don't act in accordance to that identity that you've built for yourself, you start to see yourself not as that identity, but as a phony. Even if you're not pinpointing it for yourself, there's this little bit of guilt, this little bit of, I should know better, I should be doing better. We've all taken numerous programs and studied, from the best of the best and done all these different things. So we feel like we should have it all figured out by now. But even the word all, have it all figured out, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. And to have it all figured out, that is a tremendous amount to have figured out. And years ago, when I had a huge breakthrough, I literally lived my life remembering everything. And I think there's like what is Dumbo, the elephant remember everything? There's some elephant, I think, that remembers everything. I don't remember. I don't try to remember everything anymore. But there's some, I think that they say elephants remember everything or something like that. I was that elephant. I would remember everything. I would remember past conversations to the letter. I would remember past experiences where I could even project myself there and see it as it was playing out. And all that became this game of me trying to figure out life. If I can be the one that cracked the code, if I can be the one who's seeing something that, others aren't seeing, if I can put all the pieces of the puzzle together by storing all this information and always constantly seeking, trying to figure it out, living my whole life trying to figure it out. For one thing, it was heavy. I was carrying a lot because I was carrying a lot of emotions. I was carrying a lot of frustrations. I was carrying a lot of fears from the past. And trying to figure it out, trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together, that's a tall order. It's a big task. And so chances are you have some element of that as well. You're trying to piece everything together and you feel like there's going to be this moment in time where it clicks and then life is perfect. There's no more stress, no more trauma, no more drama. It's easy, it's light, it's fun. You can ride off on your white horse on a sandy beach into the sunset, and that's it. I really feel like we have this side of us that believes that. But I dare to say, especially as being an entrepreneur, as somebody who cares deeply about other people, as somebody who cares to help the world to become a better place, there's always going to be new problems. There's always going to be new levels. There's always going to be new games to play. And so if you're trying to figure this whole life out, and if you feel like you're just one piece of information away from it all clicking, chances are you're not experiencing life and soaking up the richness of life, just like I was not doing. This whole year was just me in my pity party and playing this lack game, this fear game, this frustration game. I fell back into old patterns. But years ago, what I was getting ready to say is I had this moment in time where this question popped in my head. And I love this question. What if life is not meant to be figured out? Whew. Just asking that and saying that again, like I feel energy, I feel weight fall off my body. What if life is not to be figured out? But rather, what if life is to be experienced? So what if instead of me trying to figure out how do I solve Jackson's sleeping problems and how do I get more sleep at night and how do I run my business on only working a certain number of hours per week, trying to figure it out, I missed such a great opportunity to experience the ups and downs and the all arounds of life. I was trying to avoid it. I was kicking and screaming all the way. But we came here to grow. We came here to experience. We chose to embody this 3D-ness, this human form, this flesh, for an experience. It's almost like the God, the universe, a higher version of ourselves said, hey, look, do you want to go on a roller coaster ride that's going to take you every which way from Sunday? You're going to feel pain. You're going to feel joy. You're going to feel like you're on top of the world. You're going to feel like you're under rocks with pressure building on your chest. You're going to have beautiful sleep. You're going to have lack of sleep. You're going to feel bliss. You're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel pain. You're going to get into action. You're going to get into flow. You're going to create, but also you're going to get into procrastination. You're going to second guess yourself. You're going to hesitate. You're going to compare yourself to others. You're going to feel inadequate. But also at times you feel like you're rocking it. What if instead of wrestling with all of it and trying to feel like we have this idealized identity version of ourselves that we're always aspiring towards, what if we just step into life? What if we just experience it? What if we just embody everything that this life has to offer? Wouldn't you think that you would grow more? Wouldn't you think that you would have more ease? Wouldn't you think you'd be able to navigate the most uncomfortable situations a little bit more gracefully without the kicking and the screaming and I should be here and I should be there and they're doing this and they're doing that and I'm doing this and I'm not doing that? It's tiring. It's burdensome. And for me, it got boring. I got bored with how that felt. But it reared its ugly little head. It came back in. Said, hello, hi, how you doing, my friend? But now there's this concept that I'm really embodying. I'm really checking it out. So in life, and it's almost like we're ingrained this way. If I ask you, or if I ask most people, what do you want? You're more inclined, and you've heard this, you're more inclined to say what you don't want. Well, I would like this, but I don't want that. I just don't want to struggle anymore. I would like my business to be doing better. I don't know what better looks like, but I just don't want it the way it is now. We're more inclined to say what we don't want. And so when it comes to what you need as a person to grow, the type of environment you need in your life, in your business, in order to grow, in order to step in fully to who you are in this moment right now, in the name of growth, then I would love for you to embody this idea of inverting, which basically means flipping it on its head, inverting your life. So instead of always, what do I need to do next? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next plan? What's the next strategy? What's the next thing? How can I get better? How can I have better relationships with my kids? How can I have better relationships with my wife? What do I need? What do I need? What do I need? Who do I need to be? Who do I need to be? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? Instead of looking at it that way, because we get into this rut, this game of needing more information, which is crazy because it's an endless game. And so we're consuming. And this is yet again another pattern, a habit of mine that I fell back into. I fell right back into being a consumer. Now I get, goofed up a little bit on social media. That's not really a problem of mine, but I love to study. I love to read books. I love to watch YouTube videos and just take a whole bunch of notes and, take new courses and all that stuff. But for me, and for most of you listening, that's a place of comfort. That's a place of an escapism. Because if you're constantly feeling like I need one more piece of information, then I'll show up. Then I'll put my offer out. Then I'll show up. Then I'll do the thing. Then you're hiding behind it. Because if you're not putting yourself out there, if you're not going for it, if you think like that one little thing's going to click, that one piece of information is going to make it all come together, and then boom, I'm off to the races. I promise you, speaking from experience, that is not the game. That's not the path. That's not the plan. That's not how we work. We've got to be able to take information. I'm never going to say stop learning, but I am actually putting a pause on myself. I've got some things that I'm learning right now that I'm cutting off in a week and a half, basically the end of next week. I'm cutting it off. I'm giving myself a deadline because this is starting to get to a point where there's some complexities that are coming in, and I want to share more about what I'm learning because I think it's going to be helpful for you, but I don't feel like I'm ready yet just to break into that, and especially on this episode. But there's some things I'm learning that it's starting to get a little complex, and it's starting to stretch my brain in certain areas, and I can bridge off and I can go down this rabbit hole and that rabbit hole. And there's always something else to learn that I feel like if I just learn the thing, then it will complete itself. And I'll have this golden skill that I never have to sharpen again. This tool that I never have to sharpen again because it's done. Most cases, it's not like that. Most cases, you've got to be able to put governors on yourself, boundaries, guidelines to make sure you don't sink your teeth into learning, because we also came to this earth to create. And so I always like to project to the end. So go with me for a minute. It's the end of your days. I don't know what your beliefs are, but let's just simulate, have some fun. You go to the golden gates, right? You're checking in. Yep. Lived a good life, feeling good. And that question comes. Awesome. Oh, Adam Kadu here. Adam, right? Okay. What is it that you created with your time here? Wait, created? What do you mean? I thought I was just supposed to grow and experience and that was it. Like, oh, no. In the contract, it says, you're coming to this earth to create as the creator created. Oh, okay. So what do you have to take away? What does the earth have to take away? What do the people have to take away because you were there? What did you create? What did you learn in order to apply? Most people learn to put that information. Hopefully it's going to come up in their brain when they need it. Or they might have some notes that they just bury away somewhere that they'll never view again. They're going to save the little Instagram reels. They're going to save the TikToks in these folders. They're going to bookmark some web pages, right? Never to be seen again. So you're spending all this time learning and harvesting this information, but for what end? What projects is this going to go towards? What are we going to use this information for? What are we going to create with this information? It's a great question. What is it? Oh, my program. Okay, awesome. What's the program going to do? What's it going to solve? What's the ripple effect that it's going to leave in this world, in this life? You get to that golden gate. What did you create? What did you put? What did you implement in this world? What did you do? Oh, I don't know. Like I consumed a lot of, I mean, I'm very resourceful, right? I just consumed a lot of information. All right, cool. Where's that information? Well, most of it's in my brain. Most of it's in some notes that hopefully my family will read and dissect and, put to good use one of these days. Maybe they'll watch, some of the videos that I didn't publish on my desktop. Right? This is serious. This is a serious conversation. And so start to look through this lens of all the stuff, all the courses, all the programs, all the work that you're doing. What's it for? What's the project? Oh, to be the best version of myself. Okay, awesome. Let's break that down. Like, how exactly can we put this in a way to implement? How can we start chunking this information so you can actually use it and leverage it? And so that way you leave yourself a blueprint, if you will. Just like myself, it's like I, lucky enough, had, created a phenomenal program, Heart-Centered Selling Mastery, where initially the first section of the program is about embodiment, energy, tapping into your personal power. So I already wrote the book for myself on how to get out of the messy, icky, poor me victim mentality place that I found myself in. And so I just started going to work, started doing it, started doing my own curriculum, if you will. Started letting go of energy, started processing, started being intentional about how I felt each and every day. Stepping powerfully into trusting that I'm being divinely guided. When my heart is open, the answers come, right? That's the work. And so what blueprint are you leaving yourself? Because just like me, there's going to be a point in time where things are working well for you and I've got some new habits and I'm implementing and things are going well. Then all of a sudden life is going to throw you a curveball and, life's going to get icky and messy and all the things, and you're going to lose your path. And if you don't leave yourself breadcrumb trails and really start to build your life in a way to where you can easily get back to where you are in your habits and you understand yourself, not just hoping that your brain will remind you. Sometimes when your brain goes into fight or flight, it stays, it kind of gets stuck for a little bit. If you get scared and stressed about, finances or the world or the economy or whatever, you get stuck in fight or flight, it's a little bit harder to think. So you've got to be able to rely on the path you set for yourself. And yet again, that is a creation. And yet again, that is something that you can share with other people. That's something that you create for yourself. Something that works for you is going to be something that works for somebody else as well. So what are you creating? Back to the inversion conversation. Because it's like, what's my purpose? What's my passion? What's my path? What am I here to do? What am I good at? Those questions are tough for people to answer. I know they were crazy tough for me to answer. You've got to just think of them in a different way. And so what if, for an example, let's just take a daily life. Let's just take a glimpse of your week. What are things that you're doing throughout your week that, looking from a place of inversion, not from doing more or being better or having a stronger identity, but rather, what do I need to get off my plate? Not just of tasks, but of your habits, of the things that you're doing. One of the things I'm doing right now is I'm stripping my Facebook. So I put this app on my phone called OneSec, I believe. And it basically, it takes like 3 or 4 seconds for me to get into social media. It like has me take a deep breath, which is fine. I love to breathe. Y'all, hope you guys love to breathe too. It has me take a second before I go to social media. And sometimes just the thought of going to social media and having to take this breath, and then I have to tell this app why I'm going on social media. And if I'm like, well, I'm kind of just checking out right now, then I'm like, I'm not even going to go on there. I don't even want to say that. So I've made it harder for me to get on social media. But what I found, and this became glaringly obvious just here recently, what I found when I get on social media at times, there's certain people that I've became friends with that are, I mean, just amazing people. Like I treat Facebook as a lot of people treat LinkedIn. I do a lot of networking. I connect with people that are up to big things and people that I see other people raving about. I'll send a friend request, send a message, and connect with them and chat a bit. But I see some of these people on my news feed that some of them are kind of in, sales in the same industry that I'm in. And I see just them, they're constantly posting, they're constantly on it. It seems like they're in such a flow. They probably don't have zero problems in the world, is what I tell myself, right? Everything's probably peachy and rosy with them. They got it easy, all this stuff, which is not true, as you know. But I see these people and I feel disempowered. And there was a point in time where I did not have to worry about that. There was a point in time years ago where I did. And then I started telling myself, hey, look, every time you see somebody that's doing something good or somebody that makes you have that quick twinge of inadequacy, why can't I have success? Why can't I do this? Why am I not there yet? If you have that quick twinge of inadequacy, take a moment to send them gratitude, to send them love, and to wish them more success. Okay. Or do what I'm doing right now, strip it clean. If there's people that cause you to feel a certain way on social media, snooze them, unfriend them, right? If there's people that you're spending time with in your daily life that make you feel a certain way, snooze them, unfriend them. I know it's easier said than done at times, but inversely, you can look at this from a standpoint of going back to the end of time. And if indeed you did not remove the thing that caused you the most pain in your life and you kept thinking, oh, I can get better, I can get stronger, and I'll be fine. It's on me because we're the type of people with huge hearts that take all the responsibility on ourselves. If people are causing you to feel a certain way and you just can't seem to figure it out and you can't seem to counterexample yourself and, reframe it and all that stuff, then let's inverse it. Let's get rid of some stuff. If there's some things in your house, in your environment that you're just like, I just don't like the way this is. Let's do something about it. Instead of striving, well, I'm just needing to get a new house, need to get something new, different. Let's just get rid of some stuff. Instead of all the different business plans, it's just like, oh, I could do this, I could do that launch, I could do this style, I could do this messaging, I could do this offer, I could do this. Let's strip it down. Okay, this isn't ideal right now. Move that to the side. This launch strategy, I don't know. I don't resonate with it. It seems kind of hard and complex, not doing it. Put it aside. Okay, I've got this offer, I've got this idea. Okay, no, not to that one. I'm just not aligned with it. Let's strip it away. Because it's sometimes easier for us to strip things away in order to see what's left, in order to see what stands the test of time, what is still there, looking you in the eye, saying, this is for me, this is the path. I'm still here. This still feels good. So take a moment to flip life on its head, flip business on its head, flip the relationship on its head. What are the things that you wish would be better in the relationship? Okay, let's strip away the things that, are okay. And see the things that we want to work on. What are you doing in the relationship? Some of the things that you think are okay, that you can find that one thing to work on. That's going to keep you out of a lot of overwhelm. It's going to keep you out of a lot of second guessing yourself. It's going to keep you out of a lot of frustration. I've saw so much more space in my life in starting to think this way. What do we need to get out of our life? You've heard the quote, let go to let in. They like to say the universe abhors, dislikes a vacuum. It wants expansiveness. But if you have things that are taking up all the space, There's no room for anything else. If you're so busy, if you're so overloaded, if you're so distracted, you've got your 500 tabs open each and every day. You got your cell phone buzzing in 500 different ways with 500 different devices. They got notifications. Strip it all away. Allow yourself more space. Open it up. If you're closing off energy and you're holding on to past and frustrations and what ifs and all this stuff in your body and in your mind, strip it all away. Open it up. More and more and more. Let go of everything. Let go. We take life way too serious. We take life way too serious. The thing is, we ain't gonna get out alive. We're here for a blip. If you take life too serious, you create a lot of pain, create a lot of suffering. But if you can see the humor, when things don't go your way, when you stubbed your toe and you spilled your water and you forgot your keys and this, that, the other thing, and you're just kind of to this point, you're like, what in the world is going on? Giggle a little bit. Like, man, myself and the universe, we're just on it today. We're having a good one. We're having a round. Find humor in life. Have a little humor. See just the silliness in all of this. It's just a cosmic joke anyways. So strip it down. Let it go. Leave it be. Like a dog on a bone, you're just chewing and chewing and chewing and chewing and chewing. What do you need to let go of today? Let it go. Let it be. About to break out in that Elsa song. Good thing I got some boys. We don't watch that show. I'm trying to think of the name of it, whatever it is. Let it be, let it be. Is that, or let it go? Which one is it? All right, y'all. I'm going to end here. I'll trust that this conversation lands. I trust that you found some valuable gems in this. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me a platform to open up, to share my heart, to be a little bit more vulnerable, real, raw, and authentic. I feel safe with y'all. I love chatting on this podcast. And so more to come. If you have some gold nuggets to share, if you have some value that you can share in your heart, I'd love for you to reach out to me and let me know what you can provide value on the podcast. I'm going to be doing some more interviews. I've got a list of people that I'm getting to. So, but I would love to know if you're interested in that as well, just to, see what's up, see what else is out there, because the world needs more heart-centered leaders now more than ever. And if you have an open heart, if you're ready to serve, if you're ready to connect much deeper, then send me a note. Let's connect. Let me know what value you can bring to the listeners, and we'll consider having you on the show. And if you haven't yet, leave a rating and review. I'd greatly appreciate it. Big things to come. Go have some fun. Don't take life too serious. It's a silly game anyways. We all win in the end. That's it. We all get lessons. We all get to have an experience. We all win. Spoiler alert. So what's all the fuss about? What's all the drama about? What's all the stress and the frustration and the fears about? What's all the beating ourselves up and the inadequacies and the imposter syndromes and the comparisonitis? What is it all about? Let it go. Because there's so much more goodness, richness that's coming into your world right here and right now, if you know that to be true. So open up, let it in. All right. Much love, you guys. Much love. Go help somebody. Much love. Talk soon. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Adam Kadu podcast. If you would, take a moment to subscribe and click the bell icon so that way you get notified when future episodes air. Now, here's the thing. If you are looking for the show notes, you can find a link to those below. If you're looking for the handles of the guests that I've been interviewing, things of that nature, you'll find that here. And if there's anything else that stood out to you in the episode, or if there's anything I can do for you, please leave a comment below, or for sure message me on Instagram if you'd like, as I'm always looking to hear what's working well for you and what caught your interest about the Adam Can Do podcast. So, time to go, time to change the world, time to help more people. Are you ready? Let's go do this thing. The world needs more leaders. So thanks again for listening to the Adam Could Do podcast.